They took care of business. They bottled up Derrick Henry, but also Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield went nuts against the Tennessee Titans. He's answered the bell, I would say. There's room to grow. They haven't finished the deal, but you got to be excited for the Cleveland Browns if you're a Cleveland Brown fan in the state of Ohio.
Numero 6, Los Rams.
When Jared Goff is on, man, he's cooking. I'm just being honest with you. Just want y'all to know that's Jay Will bringing me in and out of my picks. That is not me. But the Rams did exactly what I thought they would do. Go down to the desert, take care of business against Kyler Murray and Cliff Kingsbury. Teams have caught up to this offense of the Arizona Cardinals. The latest one is the Los Angeles Rams and Sean McVay, Aaron Donald in that cast of characters. Watch out for them come playoff time.
Number 5, the Bills.
No one circles the wagons like the Buffalo Bills.
That is correct. The Buffalo Bills and Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs and company. When you think about this team and you think about where they're a team much like the Cleveland Browns in my point of view. They've got to get a signature win. Yes, they are going to win the division. There's no question about it. But I want to see them take on the Pittsburgh Steelers on Sunday night because, to me, that'll be that signature W that they need to convince me that they're ready to make a run against the Kansas City Chiefs.
Number 4, the Steelers.
We got to make routine plays routinely, and we're not making them routinely enough right now.
The Steelers, they kind of dropped a little bit. I know it's a team that was undefeated. They lose one game. Now, all of a sudden, they're the 4th team in my rankings. The last 2 games, they haven't shown me anything that makes me believe that they're the team to compete with the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC. That loss last night it had to be sickening to Mike Tomlin to think that they went out there and lost to the Washington football team with a dominant defense that's emerging in the NFC East.
Numero 3, the Packers.
RELAX. Relax.
It's so interesting. They could be the number 1 team on this board. They could be the number 2 team on the board, but instead they are the number 3 team, which is not light at all. I think when you look at Devontae Adams, obviously there's Aaron Rodgers, big-time MVP candidate, things that they do when Aaron Jones out of the backfield, the defense playing okay football. It just... They need to continue to play like they're playing, not show up like they showed up against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They need to show us exactly what they can do against the better teams in the NFC moving forward.
Number 2, the Saints.
This is easy for me. It's called nepotism. It's very easy. They haven't missed a beat. Taysom Hill comes in. They continue to win. Hopefully, for them, they're going to be getting Drew Brees back soon as they close out the season and head into the playoffs. That way they can have some sort of continuity with Drew Brees in the playoffs and not just insert him at the end of the season. Taysom Hill's done a tremendous job. He certainly has helped his stock as far as the quarterback position goes. But then again, hey, man, my nephew's on that team, so what you expect for me to do?
Numero 1, the Chiefs.
I'm going to go get the biggest cheeseburger you've ever seen. Might be a double.
I don't know how many weeks this has been in a row, but Andy Reid's eating a lot of double cheeseburgers, that's for sure, because they continue to stay at the top of the heap at the number 1 overall pick in my real rankings. Kansas City's Kansas City. Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes. Although some games have looked tight and close, especially within the division, whether it's the Los Angeles Chargers beat by the Oakland Raiders or barely beating the Denver Broncos. Whatever the case may be, it's a division-type situation. I'm not worried about Kansas City at all. I think all the snack, crackle, pop that you get from Kelsey, you get from Tyreek Hill and Watson along with Patrick Mahomes is just phenomenal. I can't wait to see them in the AFC Championship game.
And that will do it for Key's Real Rankings with an assist by our point guard, obviously, Jay. All right, Jay, so...
Well, you pass too much. You need to start shooting.
Shoot the ball, Zubin.
Shoot the ball,
Shoot it.
Shoot your shot. Jay, you heard Key's Real Rankings. What are your thoughts, especially with the Steelers? I actually thought the Steelers were a little lower than I had thought.
Yeah, I'm okay with the Steelers being where they are just because of how they won games. And I still think Mike Tomlin is the coach of the year. I think Kevin Stefanski is right there. I agree. I actually agree with Key on all these. I wanted to ask him, though, Key.
Yes.
Out of your 7 power rankings here, the Keys rankings, which 2 teams have the most upside? Like, I feel like I know who the Chiefs are. I know who the Saints are. Drew Brees coming back, a little bit of a question. I know who the Packers are. Like between the Steelers, the Bills, the Rams, and the Browns, which two of those teams have the most upside to make the biggest jump in your rankings?
Can I get 3 instead of 2?
Sure, whatever you want. It's your rankings.
I'll take the Bills, Rams, and the Browns.
In that.
However,
no, give me an order. Give me an order. Give me an order. I like this. Who has the most upside of those 3?
5, 6,
Bills,
and
Rams,
7.
and Browns.
That's your 5, 6,
I
7.
would say Rams, Bills, Browns. I would flip those 2. Rams, Bills, Browns got the most upside.
And
I think look, man, here's what I would say about the Rams. As long as Jared Goff doesn't trick it off by giving the ball to the other team, the Rams going to win pretty much every single game because the defense is lights
so
out.
Yeah.
And their offense make plays, whether it's Cooper Kupp or Robert Woods, whether it's Henderson and Brown in the backfield, whether it's Higbee at the tight end position or Everett. I mean, they got a nice nucleus of Sean McVay on that offense. And then the defense, you already know what that is.
Led by the best defensive player in the NFL.
Led by probably, despite the position, probably the best player in the National Football League.
Pound for pound. Despite,
I understand Patrick Mahomes is a quarterback and he has nice hair and we like Patrick and all that sort of stuff. I get it. But in terms of a player, you have to prepare for Aaron Donald like no other because he can do so many different things from a defensive standpoint, whether he lines up in a 2 technique, a 3 technique, whether he's at the defensive end, whether he's at a wide tech on the defensive end side. You know, it's just he's a guy that you got to watch out for because he can wreck a game.
Well, we'll get a chance to see that on Sunday because that game against the Pats is going to be a street fight. That's going to be a street fight. And the Rams are only favored by 6.
We only have to wait one more day, a couple more days to get it. It's a short week for both teams. Here we go. Pats, Rams, Thursday night. We'll see.
Oh, Thursday night. Excuse me.
What happens? No problem.
A good thing, though, for New England is Bill Belichick doesn't have to worry about anybody hanging out in L.A., that's for sure, because COVID has shut that thing down.
Right, and keep in mind, they just played the Chargers. Now they're playing the Rams. Obviously, they're not flying back across the country to fly back. They're staying there. They're rooted. They're ready to go.
But a lot of Rams fans are mad at that, too, right? Because the Rams had to fly back and forth when they were here on the East Coast.
And it's a really big game for the Pats, by the way, too.
But I think that might have been CDC rules, though, right? That made I don't think they had a facility that they could practice in on the East Coast. I'm almost certain that that's what it is. I'll go out on a limb and say that the rules didn't allow them because the facility that they needed to use was already occupied, so there wasn't another place for them to practice.
Stakes on both sides for the Pats trying to get that 7th seed. Remember, this year there's 7 teams in each conference. If the Pats were to win out, they were to get to 10-6. But as Dan Graziano, our NFL insider, mentioned just moments ago, right now the teams in the 6 and 7 spot have 8 wins already. Rams are trying to win the division. They're in pole position.
Yeah, in of this division, it's either going to be Seattle or the Rams. Did I miss anybody in the real rankings that you thought I should have had in?
Once again, it was Chiefs, Saints, Packers, Steelers, Bills, Rams, Browns.
Seattle's on the outside?
Yeah, just because I'm mad at them. How you gonna lose to the damn Giants at home?
No,
man?
it was a revealing loss.
Come on now,
revealing loss
and a revealing win.
You got an MVP candidate in Russell Wilson. You got an emerging superstar at wide receiver in DK Metcalf. I mean, like, stop. They shouldn't have lost to them.
So Key just mentioned. Go ahead.
The Colts.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
No?
You haven't been that high on the Colts that much.
No, I'm good. For those on radio that can't see me shaking my head, I was silent because I was shaking my head. But no, I'm good on the Colts. The Colts are 8, 9, 10, 11. But I don't know.
Okay.
I got the 7 right.
Gotcha. The Colts right now, by the way, are an 8-4 football team led by Phillip Rivers, who looks like he's finally putting it together.
The Cowboys, no.
Yes, the bottom
2028.
The bottom 7.
The bottom 7.
By the way, Cowboys Ravens tonight, a little Tuesday night football. Key mentioned Pat Mahomes before when comparing him to Aaron Donald when he talked about the best offensive and defensive players in the game. It's time for Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless. We're simply asking you this morning on the Dr. Pepper Twitter feed, as easy as it gets, who's the MVP, Mahomes or Rodgers? On the surface, first blush seems easy, but then you got to look at A-Rod's numbers, 400 touchdown passes.